am so excited to have found this wonderful exhibit while I'm visiting with my aunt and uncle in Lewiston, Idaho. It's called Primal Forces Earth, a traveling exhibition by SAQA. Let's go inside and take a look. Here we are at the center. The exhibit is open until October 31st. The admission is free, and we are at the Lewis Clark Center for Arts and History. This show is called Primal Forces Earth, a traveling exhibition by Studio Art Quilt Associates. All life on this planet depends on Earth. However, the soil beneath our feet that nurtures us can be a destructive force. Seismic activity and mudslides have shaped the landscape for millions of years, taking a toll on living beings as well. What a joy to have Vicki Conley's art piece featured at the entrance of the show. I recently had the joy of meeting Vicki Conley at Quilting Arts TV. I hosted her segment. She was brilliantly prepared, and it was so much fun. This piece is called Slot Canyon number 6, and Vicki Conley is from New Mexico, USA. As I come around the corner, we see a wonderful piece by Victoria Findlay Wolfe. Let's take a closer look. This piece is called The Language of Trees, and Victoria Findlay Wolfe is from New York, USA. Let's head on over here to Betty Hahn's piece. It's called Opposites Attract. Betty Hahn is from Arizona, USA. This piece is by Nancy Bardak. It's called Reflections of Heat. She's from California, USA. This next piece is by Mary Louise Garrick. It's called Mixing Point, and I want to just show you a little bit of the detail. Mary is from Colorado, USA. And look at this wonderful textural piece. It has loads of thread and stitch. This is Ana Paula Brazil. The piece is called Earth Womb, and she is from Ontario, Canada. Let me go all the way back so you can see the full piece. And let's get in there to see a little bit more detail. Our next piece is by Dorothy Raymond of Colorado, USA. This is called Vortex. And over here we have more of a contemporary improvisational piece. This one's by Nancy Goodman. It's called Sea Glass. And it certainly does portray the wonderful colors of sea glass. Nancy is from Alabama, USA. Next up, we have Diane Firth. She is from the Australia Capital Territory in Australia. This piece is called Across the Desert. And if you look very closely, there's some wonderful textural elements with the frayed edges. Here we have Brenda Smith, Glen Canyon 2. Gorgeous depiction of a waterway. And Brenda is from Arizona, USA. This next piece is by Paula Rafferty of County Limerick, Ireland, and it's kind of a whimsical story. It's a stalactite, and she talks about how she learned the difference between stalagmites and stalactites by Tights Come Down, and that's the name of this piece. Next we have View from Above, Brown, by Bonnie J. Smith. She's from California, USA. And here, Holly Brackman has created Desolation Relief. She's from California, USA, and there's a wonderful combination of hand stitch, applique, and couching on a whole cloth background. This next entry is called Nice Ice Number 1 by Carol Breyer Fallert Gentry. And I need to show you a close-up on this one because the stitching and thread play is ridiculous. It's impeccable and it's gorgeous. Nice Ice Number 1. And Carol is from Washington, USA. This piece is called Terrible Beauty. And again, this is by a friend of mine, someone who I call my friend. Her name is Andy Pareda. She's a brilliant artist and she's a member of the NACQJ. She's a certified judge. She's from California, USA. Here's our first diptych of the show by Mary Ellen Latino. I'm going to come in for a little closer look. This piece is called Earth's Dance, Scared Trees, and Mary Ellen is from California, USA. Kit Vincent is the artist in this piece. She's from Ontario, Canada. Love to give a little shout out to my Canadian friends. This piece is called Fast Water Debacle, What Lies Beneath. And just look at the texture in this piece. Just gorgeous. We have another piece here with extreme texture. I just love the felting in this one. Jennifer Landau. This is called Snow Bones Climate Change. Jennifer is from California, USA. Let's get in to take a little closer look. The edges are just incredible. It's one of those ones you just want to touch and grab, but no touching allowed. Now, when I say texture, I really mean it. This piece is by Shin Hee Chin. It's called The Web of Life, Earth, and Shin Hee is from Kansas, USA. Now let's just get in for a really close look because this is heavyweight, gorgeous, vibrantly colorful thread, all interwoven to create this delicate, densely stitched piece. Texture, texture, texture. Wow, this piece is so amazing. This is by Janet Windsor of Arizona, USA. I'm going to get in here and just show you some of this thread. It is so gorgeous and chunky and textural, and there are stones. Let's take a step back. Janet is from Arizona, USA, like I said, and this piece is called Crumbling. Here we'll take a look at Pat Dariff's piece called Imbalance, Algae Bloom in the Great Lakes. Pat is from Indiana, USA. Let's get in close and take a look at some of the texture here. Counted at least 40 pieces of art in this show. And although I'm giving you a nice little feature of this show by showing you each and every piece, I really can't say enough about coming to a show in person. So this one's in Lewiston, Idaho. This is Maya Chaimovich. The piece is called And Unto Dust, and she is from Ramat Gan, Israel. With this next one, let's start with a close-up. This is Anne Severn. Her piece is called Cerulean Lake, and she's from Colorado, USA. Let's just take one more quick look at that gorgeous edge finish. This next piece is by Lynn Wool. It's called Oozing Heat, and Lynn is from Austin, Texas, USA. This piece is by Kathy Menzie. It's called Growth, Decay, and Renewal. Let's take a close-up look. Some of the detail. Kathy Menzie is from Topeka, Kansas, USA. Michelle Hardy is the artist behind this piece called Geoforms Fracture Number 6. Michelle Hardy is from Colorado, USA. This piece is by Geraldine Warner, and it's called Global Warning. Geraldine is from Washington, USA, and something really cool about this piece is there's all kinds of textural beading on here. It's a 3D piece, as you can see. I'm going to walk around the entire thing so you get to see inside and outside. And another really cool thing is they've displayed it on a gorgeous pedestal on top of a mirror. So we kind of get to see the real bottom, everything. It's a really cool way to display a 3D art piece. This is just the coolest thing. So this piece is by Maggie Vanderwait. It's called Earth to Earth. Maggie, I am so happy to call my friend. She's actually a mentor of mine in SAQA. Just as a friend, she mentors me in just everything I say to her, whether I'm asking her a silly question or a smart question. She gives me wonderful advice, and she's so frank and true to her word. I just love her. So her piece is called Earth to Earth, and the fun little story about this is that moths got into her eco-dyed wool stash and had a party. After washing and disinfecting everything, she realized the larval patterns left in the cloth were lovely. So it's just kind of a really cool piece. Let's take one more look at the entire piece, top to bottom. This is a very cool digitally printed piece by Frauke Palmer. I'm so sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. Frauke Palmer is from Ohio, USA, and this piece is called The Watchers. This piece is by Helen Giglio. It's called Wisdom Cloak, the Sibyl, for Rachel Carson, and I'm showing you some gorgeous close-ups because there are so much stitching. There's bone and felt and couching, so many gorgeous elements in this piece. And Helen is from Indiana, USA. Judith Duffield created this piece called Greenland is Melting. Let's take a close look at some of the intricate stitch. Judith is from Colorado, USA. Let's start with a close-up of this one. I'm going to walk around, and I want you to try to guess, see if you can guess what it is. This piece is by Stephanie Nordlund, and it's called Sonoran Spring. And there's a snake on the back. You can see his head up here. And yes, if you take a step back, you can see that it's a dress. So lovely. I'm going to walk around one more time, and I'll do a close-up of some of the detail. Gorgeous stitch. And Stephanie is from Arizona, USA. Sarah Ann Smith. Let's start with some of the gorgeous detail in a close-up. This is called Rose Hip, and Sarah Ann Smith is from Maine, USA. This aerial view quilt is by Bob Shapiro Nolan, or Bobby perhaps. It's called Flyover 8 Pathways, and Bobby is from Texas, USA. Let's take a look at some of the texture. Some gorgeous hand stitch in here, lots of couching and braiding and knitting, huge chunky textural elements. Oh my goodness, it's a Betty Busby art piece. This gorgeous piece is called Fault Line. Betty is from Albuquerque, New Mexico, USA. Let's take a look at some of the gorgeous close-up elements. It's inspired by her earliest memory of an earthquake that collapsed part of her house in Japan. We have a triptych by Frida Anderson. This piece is called The World is on Fire Triptych. Frida Anderson is from Illinois, USA. Sarah Ensminger created this next piece called A Winter's Morning. And let's just get a close-up of these glorious hand dyes. Sarah is from Virginia, USA. This piece is called Tiger's Eye by Heather Prager. And I want to read this to you because it says, the continuous deconstruction of Earth by mankind's activities is difficult to perceive but relentless. When Earth is quiet, we imagine that we have no effect on her, but slowly and nearly imperceptibly, she becomes altered. This next art quilt is by Jean Sredel. It's called After the Warming Permanent Winter. And I want to get in here and zoom and show you some of the detail. Look at the texture. It's just gorgeous. Jean Sredel is from Wisconsin, USA. This is the final quilt I'm going to show you today in this show. And it's by Patty Kennedy Zaffred, and it's called Grown Too Soon, The Boys of the Mines. I want to show you a couple of close-ups because some of the words on here are so telling. If a mule died, the company had to buy a new one. If a boy was injured or killed, they only had to hire a replacement. And if we look down here, the boys worked for 10 hours a day for 75 cents. These are such telling photographs and such wonderful quilting. It's a depiction of something really meaningful to the artist. I really encourage you to check out the full write-ups about these on my Instagram and TikTok channels at Quilter on Fire. I really hope that you enjoyed this SAQA show. I've signed the visitor log, and here's what I wrote. What a brilliant display of artistic talent. Beautiful, meaningful. I really hope you enjoyed this feature of Primal Forces Earth, a traveling exhibition by SAQA. Subscribe to this channel for more.